Alright, so I'm about to join a content planning meeting and I have a surprise for these guys because I'm going to walk through the personal brand strategy side of things, and it's not like a normal strategy side of things, it's more actually taken into play of like what a brand actually means and how to build that. So we know, like what I teach my guys in the community is that all brand is how many times can you consistently say the same message. So we need to find what that message is because it contains a lot. Like it isn't just like one sentence that you say all over again. It is genuinely a collection of who you are, what you're trying to do, what you've already done. So that's what this call is about. I've just set up everything nicely to make it look nice for this recording, and yeah, just feel like it's a proper call because I feel like I've been in my room too much. I really haven't left my room. So today I just went outside, did some handstand, calisthenics, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, not gonna lie, I'm gonna have to. So I just set everything up, got my light over there, got a little mushroom here, put a nice watch on, got my glasses here, got a Stella, you know what I'm saying? So this is gonna be a pretty good call. I'll also got the guru wall up in there as well, so should be good. Anyway, let's get into the call. I'm going to share a document into the chat as always, so you can kind of walk through with me. But before we walk through it together, I want to just share my screen and kind of as you guys already know, the information part of the call, and start with that. So we all good to start, by the way? Any questions? Cool, perfect. So the goal of this is to understand what a personal brand is, okay? Because I've spoken about what the two sides of it, the personal and the brand, but really they are just one, right? Because it's the same message, but your personal message and your brand message, which is typically your business, and just combining them into one. That's why we have the unfinished mission modules to kind of help you almost, it doesn't directly tell you, okay, this is how you go use it for content, which is another thing. But by doing the unfinished mission modules, you understand who you are. That is the basis of a personal brand, okay? So I just want to start by saying your personal brand is not content, okay? It is you, right? Your friends probably know you for a certain thing, okay? The funny guy, the fat guy, whatever it is, okay? That is your personal brand. That's your message. There's a lot more that goes into it, but just wanted to start by saying that. Viewing it as just you. Content is just our distribution system, okay? Instead of having to have conversations with people, we can then go make content, talk about these things about us, and distribute our message and our brand through content, okay? So look at them as almost content is the mechanism in this case, and the personal brand is you. You're just basically almost, it's just an easier way to distribute your beliefs, okay? So your mission, your offer, like I said, right? Which means, and this is the harsh reality that we kind of have to check into. To build a cool personal brand, to build a cool and interesting personal brand, you have to be cool and interesting, right? I made a video recently talking about you to build a cool and interesting personal brand, you have to be cool off camera, okay? Because the things you do off camera, when you go to shop on camera, that's what you talk about. You don't just turn the camera on all of a sudden you're a 7-figure business owner. No, that's not how it works, okay? The shit you do off camera then allows you to show up on camera as someone who is credible, someone who's interesting, someone who's cool. So the purpose of this call is to find out who you are and actually action that and make a piece of content on this so you guys understand how to use these things. I did this exercise the other day. I kind of redo this every 2 to 3 months, but one of the things I realized I haven't spoken about in my content, which no one knows about me, not even you guys, is that I'm mixed race. Like I have never spoken about that before. I've got to use that. I've got to tell people that because that's me, right? We've got to find out who we are and then distribute that through content, okay? Any questions on that?
What race are you?
What race am I?
Yeah.
So I'm mixed race. My dad is Guyanese, so from the Caribbean, and then my mom is Latvian and Russian. So I'm Eastern European mixed with a bit of Caribbean, or half and half.
You know Young Fazo?
Young Fazo?
Do you know who that is?
No, I actually don't.
Oh, he's like a Guyanese like rapper. It's pretty good. Check him out.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he makes like electronic type. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but I like it.
This call's just kicking everyone out now. Right, that's weird. Ever since I what do you call it? Downloaded Claude. Don't know. My computer's been acting strange.
Oh, you've been on the code?
I haven't checked the code out yet, but I've like given it all access to everything I currently have. So my Notion, my Google Drive, Google Calendar, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm warming it up. I'm gonna get on the code very soon. But yeah, I didn't realize actually what it was. I don't know. I just thought it was for like websites and apps and all that kind of stuff. But now I sort of have a good understanding of it and what it can be used for. So yeah, Definitely gonna be getting on that. Okay, cool. Let me just reshare my screen. Cool. You guys got this document, yeah, for yourselves. Perfect. Cool. So let's start walking through this. I'm gonna do this with you as well. I'm gonna try to come up with new things, but just start with what are your hobbies and interests? Like what are the things you do outside of business, right? Whether it's something you do or something you're interested in doing or interested in, like for example, cars. A hobby that you may have is, hold on, Johnny, a hobby that you may have is that you play the guitar, right? I'm just going to give you guys like 2-3 minutes to write down your hobbies and your interests. Yeah, seems like I'm messed up with Google Meet. There we go. Okay. Johnny, I've just sent over a document. We're kind of working through it now. Cool. Zara, give me 3 hobbies and interests.
So I put fitness, like drawing and art, and I put music, like making or listening to music. Right?
Making?
Yeah. So like, or not like playing. I have like guitar, piano, and stuff in my room.
Mm-hmm.
So my sister actually broke my guitar like a couple months ago. But I'm about to buy.
I remember you told us that.
Yeah, I'm like playing piano like or trying to every day. So
nice, sick. Corey, what is some of your hobbies and interests?
Gym, sports, reading, those 3.
By sports, you mean every single sport, or like is there specific ones?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I watch most sports, like the Olympics and stuff. I quite enjoy most. Yeah, I'm usually quite into like the Olympics and stuff.
Cool. Johnny, what are some hobbies? Give me 3 hobbies or interests you have. I kind of know some of you.
First one was cars. Second one was games, and third one was skating and basketball.
Nice. Cool. Perfect. Let's move on to the next one. What actually makes you different? Like genuinely. And this is a hard question, but what do you think makes you different? Okay. And as I said before, I gave you an example. I gave an example of me being mixed race from 2 different races that literally barely anyone is from. Okay. Doesn't necessarily have to be about the business. What makes you as a person different? I'm going to give you like 5 minutes to answer this one because it might take some time. But if you get stuck, then obviously ask me a question. Has anyone written down some stuff? Are we stuck on this?
I've got some.
Yeah, I only got like a couple things.
Cool. Zara, what were your couple things?
I said ambition because I mean, like, I know there's a lot of ambitious people, but me personally, I think I'm pretty like ambitious and like siphon stuff from people around me, and that like pushes me further. And then personality, like a lot of people say I have a pretty unique personality when they actually get to know me, which is like, it's like me personally, I don't really understand because like obviously it's me, but that's just what I hear from people around me. And like, obviously they're my friends and stuff, so it's working, I guess. So yeah, I'd say that's one of the things.
Yeah, what do they say specifically about it, your personality?
So it's not always positive, but
Okay.
they just kind of say like, I'm like pretty straightforward. I'm blunt, and I like never really like sugarcoat anything when I'm speaking, just like them specifically. But I'm also like caring in a way that like I'm only saying that stuff to like help them. But like that's just like basic stuff. They just say a bunch of like bullshit. Like even when I meet somebody new, like a girl or something, they be like, oh, like you're weird or something like that. But like I don't think it's like a bad thing because like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it works. I want you to just write that kind of stuff down, and when you dig deeper into this, like write the whole sentence and kind of thoughts down, because it's obviously a complex thing. But if we just take the direction of I have a unique personality, what does that mean, right? How do we almost action that in content? So find what those things are, like you said, blunt, but also for a good reason. Like write those things down. Cool. Johnny, what makes you different?
So I've got 3 things. First thing is I'm a night person. I hate waking up in the morning. I hate it so much that I literally wake up 5 minutes before my tram arrives, and I literally like finish everything and get there before she like the tram leaves. Why did I refer to it as she? I don't know. What else is there? I am extremely mechanical. I love mechanical stuff. Like I love working with my hands, if that makes sense. That's why I like cars. I like watches and stuff. And the third one is I hate rules. I've been a problem maker my whole life, and you can pretty much ask any teacher I've ever had. Not any single one of them would give a review of me.
Okay, cool. That's good. Yeah, that's good stuff. Okay, nice one. Perfect. Corey, what have you written down?
Yeah, it's kind of like personality traits. Say I'm quite like an organized person. So yeah, I'd say maybe something that makes me different.
Nice one. Yeah, I've written down a couple here myself. One of them, I never liked watching football. I tried my best, but I never actually liked it. That's one thing that is obviously going to spark some some, you know, opinions, right? I'm from the UK. I'm born and raised in the UK. Like, people are going to hate me for that, which is great. Another thing's like, I like to have a drink whenever, you know, I've got Stella here. That's just something like people might not like that, which is great. But the people who do will then come into me. Okay, perfect. Nice one. Let's
By the
move on.
way, the reason you don't like football is probably because you support West Ham.
Yeah, I never really supported West Ham, to be honest. That was like forced on me by my dad's pub mates.
Yes.
Because I used to, like, my dad used to go to the pub a lot, and I'd come with him, and everyone liked football and I didn't, and then all of a sudden I was a West Ham supporter. So yeah, I just never liked it. I tried my best to kind of watch it some days, but no, not for me. Anyway, cool. What is your mission? This is almost like a more free writing run, and we've done a couple like these before. But I'm going to put it on a timer. I'm going to give you 3 minutes to write, or maybe 5 minutes actually. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to write, and I want you to kind of answer these prompts. You know, if you've got other prompts inside of your head and things you want to write, just let it take you wherever it wants to take you, basically. But the only rule with this is, like, do not stop writing once this timer is on, until the timer is done. Sorry. So I'm gonna put the timer on now. Okay, perfect. Right. So from here, 5 minutes. I will see you on the other side. All right. Time is up. That was the hardest one I've done. I don't know about you guys. How did you find that?
I mean, to be fair, it wasn't that hard because I already knew it. It's something I always remember because it kind of pushes me to do the like daily deliverables every day. So yeah.
Nice. Okay. Cool. Zara, how did you find that?
Pretty hard. Like, I wanted to be like straight to the point, so I couldn't see myself writing for that. But I still got my point across pretty well.
Yeah, I agree. Same thing with me. I kind of just wrote everything at once, and then it got past like what I usually say to myself and, you know, in my content or whatever. And then I kind of had to dig way deeper. So I was just writing random sentences and things were starting to kind of click. But yeah, Corey, how did you find that?
Yeah, pretty tough, but wrote down 1 or 2 things.
Nice. Cool. Perfect. Right. So now we know our mission in depth. You know, a 5-minute free writing session is going to tell us everything we need to know. You can do that for longer, but we'll move on to the next one. It's the second last one. But I want you to tell me a story when you went against tradition, and do not tell me that you started a business like everyone else is not starting a business, okay? Because that is the standard story, okay? We know that. You guys are on this call. I know you started a business, okay? Now this is going to get you to think, oh shit, this is the story I usually tell. You know, everyone my age is going to uni and getting jobs, and I started a business. That's usually the story I tell. Now I want you to find another one, just like that, where you went against tradition, where you went against the normal way, where you went against a thing that is expected of you, right? Find that story and write it down. I'll give you guys a couple minutes to write it down. Yeah. Is anyone struggling with this? No? Zara, what's the story that you have?
So for me, like I had opportunities to like do kind of like accelerate like courses like throughout my schooling, but like even though like my parents like kind of like pressured me to doing them, like I still like didn't do it because like one of it was like comfortability, like which is like I know it's pretty bad, but like I was comfortable like with my friends, I was comfortable with like my schoolwork and everything. But the main thing is kind of like the takeaway from the story, despite like not taking like the quote unquote like better opportunity, I like stuck to what I was already doing, and I kind of like grew alongside the people I've been with like since I was like a kid, and we all kind of like aligned our interests into something we can all help each other with. And like I feel like I don't want to like be rude or anything, but like the kids in there like are like actual drones. Like it's just like I don't know if I could have achieved like a community like that with those people. I'm not saying they're like bad people or anything, but like it's like I'm just glad where I am now, and I don't think I would have been better off taking the quote unquote but like better opportunity.
Nice. Yeah, you can extract a lot of different kind of meanings from that, and also find similar ones to that story where you kind of chose the same option. Great. Perfect. Johnny, what was your story about when you went against tradition?
So when I was in 7th grade, I basically decided to go all in on like education and actually see how far I could achieve, I guess. And I basically did literally everything. And then I was basically top of the class. And then I realized it wasn't something that I expected. It was extremely boring and not something I wanted to do like semester after semester the rest of my life. So I decided, you know what, this thing is not worth it. And I realized that even if, like, regardless if you're like top of class or even like, I don't know, a mid student, nothing really changes that much. There's no exponential gain by having studied all like those times or spending all that time awake and not sleeping. So I decided to basically not study at all after that and just make experiences and just live memories with the people that I deem close, my friends, my family, and actually make something that I can remember when I'm older instead of just spending my time sitting there studying. And I have never studied since then.
Okay, cool. It's a good story. Yeah, you could kind of, that message there is powerful because it's like, just remember that you also have a life no matter what your commitments are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one. Okay. We're going to move fast onto this now because we've only got about 20 minutes left. This one should be quick because these will pop up into your head. But what achievements do you already have, right? Like, for example, Zaria, I know you was in sales like pretty much your whole life. Like, you've been selling different things for a while now. Like, that's an achievement, I'd say, as well. It doesn't even matter about the numbers itself. But what things do you have to your name where you can say, I did this, right? We're all here, and let's be honest, right? We haven't built a 5-6 figure business, which is fine. That's not what I'm asking you to write down. I want you to just write the things that almost are like, hi, I'm this, I've done this, great, perfect. Whether it was I got all A's in college, fine, I don't care. But write the different achievements that you have down to your name almost. And you can dig deep. Like, I don't care if you say that, you know, you got a what do you call it? A participation trophy for joining the school football team. Like, write all of them down. Okay, cool. Now we're going to move on to the action item of this. How have you guys found this process since we started?
Are we like writing this down?
No, I'm just asking. How did you find this?
Pretty cool to see it all like on paper.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I always understand the actual like process of what we're doing, but like I don't get, well, like I do get how it ties back into content, but like I don't really get any like ideas off the top of my head. Like, okay, this is what I would make with this.
Okay, that's fine. Don't worry about it. I mean, we're gonna go straight into an idea now. I'll speak to you more about that after we get the idea down. But let's do it now. So what we're gonna do then is actually take everything that we've written down and turn it into a piece of content. Okay, I've given you a framework here. But all this Instagram reel is you documenting the mission. But what is the mission, right? We found out what that mission is. We now are able to actually speak about that. Okay. And I want to challenge you to not make this longer than 45 seconds, because that means we have all this information and we've got to condense it down, which allows us to think, okay, cool. What's the one purpose of this video? Fine. And then make another one just like this, which is completely okay to do. I've been doing it for like the past 2 weeks now, making a very similar reel, but swapping out the different words. As a 19-year-old building blah, 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 kind of redoing that hook, etc. So I want to give you that framework, and it does start like that. As an, okay? Now your outlier can come from your achievements. It can come from the story about when you went against tradition. It can come from your mission. It can come from what you made you different and your hobbies, okay? So you'll see how this actually comes into play here. Find one specific thing that you kind of was like, okay, this is the top thing I want to be known for. Maybe it's 2 things, right? Balloons. And once we have this, I want someone to shout out what their ASA is.
I'd probably just say like as an 18-year-old.
Okay, let's add on to that. What? Okay.
You want me to add the mission part too?
As a 18-year-old, fine. Go into what actually makes you different and add that onto that. So as an 18-year-old, blah, blah, blah. So read out one thing from what actually makes you different, or like kind of, yeah, the one thing you want to talk about.
Probably say like who hates school. I don't like I don't like school, but like I don't like, you know what I mean? But that'd probably be like what's it called? Relatable. Or like
Perfect. As an 18-year-old who hates school. Perfect. And now how you would go into the next part, instead of saying who is trying to, you would just kind of change the wording around. As an 18-year-old who hates school and is trying to, right?
Yeah.
Now we insert the mission. What is the mission? Okay. You guys need to get so clear on what this mission is. Because one thing I've realized about documenting and why it never worked for me before is because I would just make this mission up for no reason other than content. Okay. When you document, you don't put the camera on you and then document. You do the thing and then you put the camera on you. Okay. So understand what your actual mission in life is for the next 6, 12, 1, 3, 5 years, whatever the kind of timeline you have, fine. But have that mission in place. So for example, as Azara, as an 18-year-old who hates school, and is trying to, what would be your mission there?
Does it have to be like in terms of like my business, or like just like my overall mission for like what I wrote in that?
Yeah, well, that's why I kind of prompted you guys to write for 5 minutes. So summarizing that into kind of like a couple words.
Okay. I'd probably say like as an 18-year-old who hates school and just all that summarizes. And just trying to make a living by positively impacting other people.
Nice. There you go. Sick. That's so on brand, by the way. I know we kind of have seen it grow from that one time where you answered like, okay, cool. Who would you like to help? And you just instantly went to people who are actually trying to, uplift other people. I've just kind of seen that grow in the way you've spoken about it. So yeah, perfect. Nice one. Corey, what is your as an outlier is trying to?
Yeah, I'm not sure which one to pick. I'm kind of reading through.
To relieve the pressure, it doesn't matter. Just pick the one that stands out because you can remake this video and you will be remaking this video. The reason why I've given you this hook now is because you make this video, see how you felt about it first off, see how it performed, and then you just either swap out the outlier, change the mission a bit, or you leave it. Okay, because then the point is to actually create a series in here. That's the end goal of this kind of document, etc. And why I'm asking you guys to make this piece of content now, because you'll make this first video, it might flop, which is fine, because then we know our combination of outlier, mission, and problem, which I'll get into after, is just doesn't align correctly. So we just change the variables, right? Cool. Does that make sense, Corey?
Yeah.
So what's your starting sentence?
As an I couldn't just say my age. I'm probably similar to Azaria,
Okay. Is it 20? Are you 24?
23.
23. As a 23-year-old, maybe add another one onto that again.
But I just jump straight into who is trying to. Or you add?
Add something to it. Add something to it. Before the who is trying to.
Yeah, just looking through my list now.
We'll go through it and I'll ask you at the end. All right, nice. So you've got that, your first part. Now I want you to introduce a problem. Okay. From here on out, I'm not going to keep asking questions because I want you to script this out. Then we'll do Q&A after. If you want to stay, you want to go, that's fine. Because I know the time is coming up. But basically, introduce the problem. Okay. So let's take Azaria. Azaria, what is your first line?
As an 18-year-old who hates school and is trying to make a living by positively impacting other people. Like I get that, but that's like the basis.
Yeah, exactly. You can kind of shorten it and play around with the wording, but the base is that. Now I want you to introduce the problem you are facing. Okay. So you've told them your mission. Now I want you to tell them a problem that you are currently facing that is stopping you from actually achieving that mission. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to let everyone write for a second and then we'll go into the next part. Are we all good with that first almost hook? Yeah. Are we all good with the problem? What the problem is? Yeah. Johnny, what was your whole line from Azan to introducing the problem?
Sure. As someone who was always considered a problem maker, who's trying to build a business that leaves a positive mark in the world, I'm having a hard time getting. Okay, this is so long, but yeah, I'm having a hard time getting across my message to the people that I'm confident I can help.
I think. Wait, read the first kind of part, half out.
Yeah, as someone who was always considered a problem maker, who is trying to build a business that leaves a positive mark in the world.
Okay, two things. Just say as a troublemaker, problem, blah blah blah, whatever that kind of sentence is, and then positive impact in the world. Be specific on what that means. Like when you actually say it and write in the script, be specific on what that positive impact is, because we will see our missions that can almost be stretched in a way. Like for me, for example, right now, currently, my almost mission of helping my past version of myself, just to put it simply so I can explain it, is to do with the outsiders. But when I extend that mission to 5-10 years, it's not necessarily I'm going to be in the info space. Okay. I'm going to be doing that in a different way, but the mission is still the same. I'm just going to be changing who I help and how I help them. So just almost shorten that down to what you're currently doing. Okay, cool. Perfect. Now I want you to give context onto how the problem came into play, right? So that will be about, I'd say 1 to 3 lines, probably 2 to 3. But give them context, right? How did this problem come up? Enough context for them to understand, the viewer to understand, or even me to understand when you tell me this. Like if I didn't know you at all, right? How did you get here? Not your life story, but like, how did you get here? Okay. If the mission or the problem is to do with your business, why do you have a business, right? Speak about that, give the context. And then basically what this context is leading to is that problem, okay? I'm not saying it again, but the context is basically to build up the information behind the problem of why it actually matters so much to you, okay? Give you a second to write. And any questions, if you have any or you're stuck, just shoot them out.
This is for the how it affects you part, right?
No, the context.
So like what the problem is causing you to face type of thing.
Before any of that, how did you get to this stage of this problem, basically? Like before the problem occurred.
Okay.
And that's why you need to be specific on what the actual problem is. Because if we say that, you know, oh, I'm struggling to get clients, it's like you're going to have to explain the entire thing of I dropped out of school, I started the business, I was getting clients, and then it didn't work, and then this happened, and this, like, be specific with the problem. Okay, cool. I'm going to move forward now. Now we've given them context on how that problem actually started, basically. Now talking to what that's affected, like what is this problem actually caused? Okay, how has it affected you personally? How has it affected the mission? You know, has it affected others around you? Has it affected emotions in your head? Have you been less productive? Talk about those types of things. This will be about 2 lines. These will be short sentences. Ronnie, what's up?
Hey, sorry to disturb anyone, but
That's all good.
guess what I just got in the mail too.
What happened? Jeez,
You just came in.
nice, cold. Is it gonna fit well? Yeah, that's cold.
Yeah, it's a medium.
Nice, good stuff. Damn, you happy?
Yeah,
Yeah, good stuff. Cool.
appreciate it.
Of course, no worries. Nice. Okay. So to get back into it, talk about how it's affected you. Talk about how it's affected other people. What other problems that may have caused. All right. Now we want to introduce the new solution. Okay. So think about the kind of structure I gave you guys at the beginning of kind of working on content, end, context, journey, breakthrough, payoff. Right. So in the middle of this video, where we are currently right now, after you talk about how it's affected you, we're kind of on a down here. Right. We're kind of on like, this is shit. This is terrible. This has made my life a lot harder, blah, blah, blah. Okay. This is the switch. Okay. This is the point in the story where you have now realized the solution. Okay. You haven't solved it yet, but you realized the solution. If there is actually a story about when you realized it, talk about that. If there isn't, fine. Just say, suddenly I got this idea, or suddenly this happened, or suddenly, or whatever that kind of thing is. Introduce the new solution. Okay. You might have seen this in the video I broke down the other day, or maybe last week, I think, about my, outreach, right? There was no really like specific moment for that. So I just said, until I got this idea, why couldn't I do this? Okay. So imagine this is the story, and this is the turning point where we've gone on a down here and we're about to bring it back up. I might have to make these calls like an hour and a half sometimes, because definitely going to be overrunning. Okay. Am I going too fast here? Am I all good to move on? Yeah. Cool. Now talk a little bit about the solution. You know, after this kind of, we've gone here and now we're about to come up. Talk a bit about how that's now going to affect you, like kind of how we did with the bad thing. Just put a sentence in there that's going to add to this, okay? So Azaria, for example, what is your almost new solution? What's the new thing that's going to make this story be happy?
My solution is to just increase my volume and like just do more. Stop making do more.
Perfect. Do more. Okay. Then talk about the effect of it in a sentence. Like what is that, you know, going to happen? It might take more time, but you're willing to do it. It might, you know, you might have to sacrifice something. Talk about the consequences now of introducing this new solution, because this solution shouldn't just be like fairies and rainbows, right? It should be, shit, I'm here, I've got this problem, it's affected me badly, or in a way that's, you know, not in an ideal situation. But now I've got the solution. It's still going to be hard, but it's still looking good, right? And after you have that sentence, all I want you to do is just say the mission again. Okay, you can change the wording for it because it's in the kind of script, but just say the mission clearly, right? So basically, almost think about the video ending here, where you've introduced this new solution, and you kind of say, for example, yeah, but this is, you know, this is going to be amazing. I'm going to be able to do more volume and get more clients, whatever that thing is, but it's going to cost me some time. So follow me to see if or, you know, I'm trying to, as I said at the start, blah, blah, blah. Introduce the mission once again, just repeat it so they understand it, and then make sure there's a follow CTA inside of there. Don't overcomplicate the follow CTA. Just say follow me. That's it. Okay. There's one really bad habit I used to have is like whatever CTA I had, whether it's a YouTube video, Instagram, or story sequence, I'd like say comment for this or follow for this, and then I'd give like 5 sentences of yap after that. Don't worry about it. Just saying follow you is enough. But the reason why they'll follow you is because you've reminded them of the mission, and you're going to bring people who are interested in this mission and seeing you actually solve this problem. Okay, cool. I know we overrun, but it's worth it. And now, if you guys do want to stay and kind of refine these scripts with me, because I want to see these videos in the next week, you know, pop up on my feed of all of you. If you do have any questions or how to, you know, properly script this, you can stay on. If not, that's all good.
I don't know. I understand if I want to do it now, because I also have like some other work to finish up. But at the same time, I do want to get this like done like with someone. So I guess I'll stay for right now, then do the find work afterwards.
Yeah, because if you can if I can answer your questions now and you have that clarity, like you can then go record this whenever.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I feel like I have like a pretty good sense of like how the video would be, but like it's like everything else other than the script, if that makes sense. Like it's like a pretty clear like thing for the script, but like
Mhm.
how should I record it? Like what type of editing should I do? Not that it has to be like crazy or anything, but like I'm having trouble like seeing the vision of like the actual video.
Okay, cool. So I'll give you an answer. So this whole thing that we kind of work through is going to be not only just the scripts and the things you talk about, but also the stuff after that, right? The kind of post-production stuff of like filming it, editing it, all that kind of those two things mainly. It takes a while to understand how to actually apply this because one of the things you said is like blunt, right? How do you actually put that into like visually and how you record it, how you sit down, whatever. It's hard, so I'm not going to tell you necessarily how to do that. But in terms of recording it, just keep it simple. If you can stand your phone up and just say it, fine. If you can walk outside and say it, fine, right? The whole point of this whole call here is to understand your brand, who you are, because I might edit my videos and they're all colorful and color graded nicely, but you might not, or you might do the same thing as me, but your color grading is different because you have a more grungy tone. Okay. So understanding these things inside of it will give you the understanding of how your content is supposed to look visually as well. Right. So to answer your question, don't overcomplicate it. If you genuinely can't actually see how you're going to record this, put the phone up, record the video. That's it. Done. Put some captions on, maybe some music, and you're all good. Okay. That's the basic. And then from there, you can go the extra mile. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have an idea of like how you would almost put the setup of recording this video?
To be honest, not really, but like you said, I'm just gonna put up the phone, like just talking to my phone, maybe do some like doom scrolling, see who I like their recording style and just copy them or something like that.
Yeah, it's the best way. In terms of post-production, guys, like I'm not going over it at all because we need to nail the stuff before that. Like I can't wait. That's my favorite part of content, obviously the video side and the editing side, but I just rather make sure that this side is good before we get onto that. But yeah, like in looking at what other people have done in terms of the visual side, great, perfect. That's all good. And kind of almost trying to replicate that. That's the best way to get good at that side of things. So yeah, cool. Johnny, how do you feel about your video?
Pretty sick, to be fair, because I mean, I have like there's a lot of filler words that I used, but I kind of see the structure and why I'm like supposed to say. So yeah.
Cool. Anything in terms of the scripts you need help with, or?
Not really, to be fair, but I mean, I'll ask you if there's anything.
Perfect. Corey, how I know it was kind of stuck on that first sentence there. How are you? Yeah. How's this video looking?
Yeah, good. I'll probably work on it tomorrow. So I'll let you know if I have any questions.
While you're working on tomorrow, are you kind of like stuck on it, or?
No, I mean, well, I can do it today, I guess, but I'll probably post it over the weekend.
Yeah.
I've already got something scheduled.
Nice. But we're on this call to make sure that when you go off this call, you can actually just record the video and post it. So is there anything in the script that you were struggling on?
No, there was earlier, but I think I've got all the information I need. Just about like putting the pieces together, I guess.
Okay. So did you finish the hook?
I didn't finish it because I kept trying. I don't want it to be too long as well.
Give me some examples of kind of what you come up with.
So it was, I kind of struggled to like make it, like for example, hobbies. I've written down like sports, reading, gym. As a 23-year-old who loves sports, I just feel like that one really makes sense.
That's fine. That's what we're here to do. Look into what actually makes you different.
So personality traits.
What are those personality traits?
Kind of like OCD, organization type stuff.
Okay. So then, do you know how you would use that in the hook?
Not really.
Okay, that's fine. As a 23-year-old with chronic OCD, or however you would say that in your language, okay? That's just how I would say it, or an example of how you could say it, right? Corey, you're also ginger as well. Like, it doesn't necessarily matter what's inside of there. It's more to just almost make them aware of these different things about us. And then the mission is actually the direction of the video, right? Because when you say, let's go with the example of Corey, right? As a 23-year-old ginger who's trying to, what was your mission?
It was an online business, so I can travel.
Okay. I want you to get specific on that because everyone wants to do that. So finding out what specific things you want to do. What online business? How much do you want to make? Why does it matter so much? What happens if you fail? Where do you want to go? How long are you going to be traveling for? Answer all these questions, okay? And then your mission becomes clear. Because otherwise, the whole point of this is actually to tell people about us, right? So if we then go speak about something generic like build an online business and travel, which everyone else wants to do online apparently, we're not going to stand out. And the reason I tell you to do that is because by finding the specific things that you want to do in your mission, we're not trying to be different. We just are, okay? Because it's us. So one thing that's going to help you is sit down and actually understand yourself, like think about these things. And also one thing you can do on here is hobbies and interests. What actually makes you different? What's your mission? All these different questions. Let's say that, you know, I wrote this down like 6 months ago because I just felt like I wasn't funny, right? I was in a, maybe not 6 months ago, maybe like 9 months ago, I'd say. And I felt like I wasn't funny. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to write this down here, you know, it was a kind of similar question. What do people say about you that I wrote down? No one really said that to me at the time, but I wanted to be funny, right? I always struggled with that in school. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to write it down because I want to be this type of person. And ever since I wrote that down, like I've been less, what do you call it? Less conscious of like, oh, I'm not funny, blah, 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 like no one likes me. I have been funny now, right? That's cool, almost like the manifestation part of it, but also write things down that you aren't yet, but want to be, okay? Because that's identity. You're proving to yourself by writing out, okay, what's your hobbies? Let's say you want to get into cars and watches just like Johnny is, but you haven't just yet. Write it down, okay? So this is what I was speaking about in terms of who you are off camera is how you're going to show up on camera. Do the work. Like if one of your hobbies is tennis and you want to play tennis, Corey, go play tennis. You might not see that as a high leverage thing in your business right now. And it probably isn't at the time. But the things that we do off camera, we can then go speak about on camera. Because at the end of the day, everyone is building an online business, right? We kind of spoke about why, you know, going to play tennis would actually help you make more money because you would be acting like the person you want to be when you make an income bracket, a certain amount of income, right? Like one of the things I did today, because I just realized like, oh shit, I've kind of been in my room for a while now. I just really haven't gone outside. I was like, fuck it. I've got a community call to prepare for, but I'll do that later. Let me just go outside for like 10 minutes and do handstands. I feel like that's something I'd do. I'm not on holiday. I just acted that. I did it. Okay. I'm going to go back to the start of this call. And if you are struggling with these scripts or kind of this type of content, it's because you're not exploring that part of you just yet, which is fine, but you should. Okay. That's how we build the personal brand and how I built my personal brand and what people know about me. Your personal brand isn't content. It is you. Content is just the way to get you out inside the world. Does that make sense, Corey?
Yeah.
I want to see that script and we can go from there. All right. Does anyone else have any questions in terms of content?
Yeah. So it can be about like for example, like my mission is like help just to stay like in niche. My mission is to help like thousands of online business owners get XYZ, something like that.
Yeah. Ronnie, I know you was kind of late for the call, so you know, is this stuff making sense here? Is it all good?
Yeah, I went through the document myself. I kind of was able to figure it out.
Nice one. Okay. Just to end this call off, I am going to show you an example. I like to lead by example in these calls, and you know, just before if it is a piece of content or a sales technique or whatever it is, a DM objection handling thing, I like to practice these before the call so it's fresh in my mind. I made a piece of content just like this, right? You might have seen it, you might have not. I'm going to show it to you and how it actually looks when you put this into practice. It's not necessarily the exact script like framework that I gave you, but it follows the rough idea of it. Okay, cool. Let me just perfect. All right. As a 19, can you guys hear that audio?
Yeah.
All right, let's run it. As a 19-year-old building an ethical business on a mission to retire his mum, I realized that my business is now broken and fixing it is gonna cost me a lot. Hey, I'm Richard and we started Timeless working with clients one-on-one, but then came to the problem of actually scaling it. And to reach the goal of retiring my mum, I would have to build a 6-figure company. So we thought, why not just take what we've done for our previous clients and put that inside of a community? That way we can service more clients at a scale. So we built the curriculum and thought this is the moment where everything is about to click, until it just didn't. Now we were getting people in, but the results were so delayed. I started to panic. I started to think, am I not fit for this coaching stuff? And I realized that most people in my space really just don't show this, and that's what I want to do. Because after all, if we did it before, we can do it again. It does actually follow the framework pretty well, like in terms of, you know, what you guys would have been scripting out. Like I literally started with the as an outlier who's trying to, with the mission, introduce the problem, gave context about how that problem came into play, what that now led to, the consequences. I'm not going to be able to retire my mom. This is what I need to do, right? How that affected me. And then I introduced a new solution, okay? I didn't necessarily end the video off in the same way as you guys will be. And I think the reason I put it in your framework because it's better. You kind of, there I ended off in a bad almost mood, right? I told you guys the problem, I went deep into it, kind of gave a solution there, and then just ended the video abruptly, right? There is no reason to follow me, reason to check out my page. Whereas with you guys, with this framework that you'll be using now, is that after you've gone deep into it, now we're going to bring it straight up. We're going to bring, okay, cool. And it gives them a reason to follow you because you are actually going somewhere. Just define the word follow. It's following someone who's, they need to be going somewhere, okay? And that's how we make content that people can now follow us from. That's what I wanted to show from there. And if you are and do have any questions about the scripts and you're thinking about doing it later, ask me now because you're in the moment, you've learned all this information, you've started scripting the video. The best place to get feedback now and actually script a better video would be now.
Can I show you what I got?
Yeah, let's do it. Share your screen, show us the script.
All right.
And by the way, once again, the call's overrun, so if you do have to go somewhere, that's completely fine.